All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.
We're going to stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
What's going on, Colts Nation? I'm Lawrence Owen. With me, as usual, is my guy, Loyalist, who almost didn't make it because there was an accident in his studio right as we were getting ready to go live.
I blame Truett Trussler, daggone it. I was sitting there commenting about his comment in the chat, and I got all excited. My table broke on me, and all of a sudden, 2 minutes before airtime, I got water and Kool-Aid all over.
That's
Hey, here we go.
Awesome. Real quick shout out to everybody who is in the chat sitting here waiting on us. Sorry for making you wait. Truett, John, obviously I appreciate you being here very, very much. Brandon Wood, scrolling down here, Mike Muma, Gary Thompson, John Davis, Shreyless, what's up? Deep Patel, everybody who is here, thank you. And I know you guys have been wanting to talk about the season schedule. We haven't really done any kind of in-depth analysis of the season schedule yet. I decided, Loyalist jumped on me and said, hey, can we break it down into 4 game stretches and kind of look at them, bit by bit in that situation? Well, here it is. This is episode 1 of us going through the first 4 games of the NFL 2022 Colts schedule. And how important it is for this year for the Colts to take that really slow, ugly starts that they've had in the past and put that behind them and do something they haven't done since like forever. And that's start off hot, right? And this is a schedule, in my opinion, that should allow them to do that right there. What's going on, Loyalist?
Oh, just sitting over here in Scubaville. No, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna say something, because even when I had this thought, I was just like, that's ridiculous. But I'm gonna go ahead and say it and let everybody start beating me up. I feel like as far as a game 1, game 2 goes, these 2 games are as close to must win as you know what I mean. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but hopefully in the next half hour, 45 minutes, hour, whatever, I can defend myself, at least get people understanding what I mean by that.
Oh, no, I get you. I think these are 2 games that are absolutely, like, not only do the Colts need to win them, I think they're in a position to do it, right? And let's jump off right away. Let's, first off, what's up, Michael Littlekin, and Kurt Jeffers? Real quick, feel free, smash that like button, please. It's free. It's easy. It helps the analytics, help get other people in here. Thank you. Thank you so much. And, as a lot of people already done, feel free and share this to your favorite social media. Appreciate that as well. Drop questions, comments, whatever you want. If you want to make sure that you want your question or comment brought up, definitely, because obviously we won't be able to get all of them throughout the show. But if you want to make sure yours is, feel free to donate to the channel by using the donation link right here at the top of the description of the video. Thank you so much. Let's get into week 1, Loyalist. Week 1 is Houston Texans. I don't think we've had a problem with Houston in a while. I mean, last year we smoked the crap out of them, 62-3. My goodness. It's our opening. We haven't won week 1 in forever.
That's right. Get that monkey off our back.
If there's a team the Colts can get that monkey off their back, it's the Texans, right? I mean, my goodness. Now, I'm not saying the Texans got worse this year. They definitely got better. They went out and got Kenyon Green in the first round. They picked up John Mechie in the second round. They did some things, right, that they needed to do. They got Christian Harris as a middle linebacker. They picked up a free safety, Jalen, I can't remember his last name, Petray or something of that nature, if I remember correctly. Derek Stingley. They had all these early draft picks, right? Because of, well, let's face it, they've been pushing all their former players out and getting draft picks. But their team is still young. Very, very, very young. Younger than the Colts, right? So this is a chance for Indy to walk in week 1 and just be like, we got you, bro. We got you.
Because like you said, they are younger than the Colts. I mean, you look at their quarterback situation. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I like Mills. Okay. I mean, he's no Deshaun Watson. You know what I mean? So thank goodness for that part. You know what I mean? But like you said, they are young. And then I like some of their free agency stuff. I mean, Marlon Mack, I was getting ready to say, we all know Marlon Mack. He can go out there and break one off at any time. So this defense, is going to have to really be alert because let's be honest, anybody knows how to pick apart this defense. I would say Marlon and JT are probably 1A and 1B on that as far as that goes, But the thing is like you said, they're young. I mean, and that quarterback position is huge. It's not that I don't think the young man's going to not be talented in the league. I just don't think that, year 2, I mean, and quite honestly, it's a complete, or at least majority of it is going to be different pieces around him this year, So how long does it take him to get in, used and adjust to one another and stuff? So yeah, like you said, as far as being set up, and let's be honest, I mean, if we were just to sit there, all that aside, if it was the middle of the season and they've gotten their gelling and stuff, I would still say that the Colts should be at least a 9 or 10 point favor in that game, just because of the talent differential. And I'm not trying to belittle them. They're in a rebuild. You know what I mean? They're just getting the thing started. And the Colts, I honestly would say that window is being kicked open after you see some of the moves that Ballard and the Colts have done this year.
Well, also, let's not forget the Colts are starting the season off 2 games right off the bat, bam, bam, on the road, right? Mm-hmm. On the road against divisional opponents. Okay. This is a must win week 1 for Indy. If we walk in and we lose right off the bat to the Houston Texans, Jim Irsay will probably fire everybody week 1, and we will probably end up having the freaking Ball State Cardinals as the Indianapolis Colts the rest of the season, because they'll just be like, come on in, because he'd be pissed and have every right to be pissed if we lost that game.
Yeah, you can't go from the season before with a 59.2 game spread to all of a sudden even being in competitive games. Now, I'm not saying that I think this year that we're going to, sit there and hang a 30 ball on them and shut them out. But I'm not saying we won't, because like I said, I really love what this defense is looking like on paper, at least.
Oh, yeah. Houston, I don't think Houston later in the season, I don't think they're going to be as big of a pushover as what a lot of people think, that they're going to be like the worst team in the NFL. I don't think so. I think they're young. Give them, half a season to kind of get adjusted to each other. And so we talked about, continuity among the team, with the Colts, the same thing with the Texans, right? You give them a little bit of time. They start playing together, get to understand each other, all these rookies get that, NFL, eyes finally adjusted, and they'll start doing well. The good thing for the Colts is we'll be done with them by week 6.
You guys can go ahead and get your groove now.
Right. Find your groove early in the season. We won't see you again till next year. Once we're done with you by week 6. Now, moving on from that is the big monkey. The payback monkey will be in Jacksonville. All right. We all know what happened week 18 last season. All right. We all know that the Colts haven't won in Jacksonville since, Julius Caesar was assassinated. Okay. It's nuts. It's crazy to think that, but it just is. But dude, Matt Ryan's 4-0 against Jacksonville, right? Mm-hmm. Something's got to give here. And I'm thinking that, it's early in the season again. And Jacksonville, they've got a few things going on there. Now, they didn't go out and put any kind of heavy draft or anything into their offense. They went and got Luke Fortner, center, in the 3rd round, right? Mm-hmm. And they gave Christian Kirk $1.5 billion. And then, they've got Marvin Jones sitting over there as well. they're completely, my goodness, their offense is way different. Went out and got Brandon Sheriff. All right. They've got an offense with James Robinson there as well. And don't forget Laviska Shenault, right? Laquan Treadwell still there. They've got an offense, but they went out and they picked up some stuff on defense. Devin Lloyd at will, Trayvon Walker, at outside. They got Chad Muma at Mike. They went out and really heavily invested in their linebacking core, which was by far their weakest spot on defense. Okay. Yeah. So even though we need to beat them, they're not going to be a pushover because, let's face it, they never have been against the Colts. They've had the Colts number for a while. But what's the Colts going to be like against Trevor Lawrence? That's the big question. What is our new defensive coordinator? Is he going to have wrinkles that Trevor Lawrence has never seen before? That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I mean, first off, he's going to see Yannick Ngakoue. He's not seen that before coming at him in a Colts uniform. I mean, that is a huge piece to this. And you look at this game, and I look at it very similar to the Texans game. You're only talking week 2. Are these guys going to be acclimated in things? And everybody's like, well, because you mentioned they didn't really do a lot in the draft this year. Well, that's because they did everything last year. I mean, they blew out the draft last year, and that was the thing. These guys are coming into their second year, but how stunned are they from what the circus that was Urban Meyer, and with everything that had gone on in Clown Town, what I mean? But do I think that this is going to be the team that the fan base is going to be wearing a bunch of clown mask at week 2? No, I really don't. Like I said, I like I like some of the pieces that they drafted 2 years ago, and I do like a lot of what they did this year. I seen they said Walker was. See, now for me, it's like, okay, Walker may be a mistake as far as your choice for number 1, but I would argue the player himself is still going to be a high quality player. You know what I mean? So I understand I hope that's all they meant was just by making him number 1. But yeah, but the thing is like I said, the young man's still very talented and it's going to be something that you're going to have to be ready for. And the thing is, there again, he's a rookie. Year 2 week 2 may not be. He may not fully be used to being a pro and doing things the way Coach Peterson wants. And how well does that work? How well does the Trevor Lawrence and the Coach Peterson start figuring things out and stuff? So, like I said, there's a lot of that newness. Now, different from the Texans, this is a team that whenever you see them later in the year, I expect more growth than what I would expect to see from the Texans. So my point is okay, say we had week 1 and week 2, and then if we had week 8 and week 9, I would say that there would be more growth seen by the Jaguars in that scenario.
Okay, so when it comes to Javon Walker, I understand where a lot of people are like, well, that was a dumb mistake. But at the same time, this was more of a need rather than a BPA pick, okay? Because it's still a very, very good player, and they needed help at linebacker badly. Whereas at pass rush, they got Josh Allen. Josh Allen's a damn good pass rusher, okay? Mm-hmm. And, I mean, I understand. I'm with everybody where they should have went and got the Michigan fella, could you imagine Josh Allen and him together on edge? That'd be nasty, right?
That would be one of those edge duos. Maybe not this year, but maybe not this year, but in a couple years, Hutchinson and I'm glad we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, sorry, it's Trayvon Walker. I my tongue don't work right half the time. Okay, but yeah, that would have been nasty. But they needed. They just let Miles Jack walk. They had to replace him. Miles Jack was an early first round pick. And now he's gone. So they had to replace him. They had to fill out that linebacking core, and they did it. And it's going to be the youngest linebacking core in football. I mean, my goodness. So there's a chance. I think the Indianapolis Colts offensively could do a very good job against this defense by hitting like short crossing routes and tight end routes. That's what they need to use, in my opinion, to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. Use the youth of that linebacking core against them. And I think that the Colts could walk out with a good win early on in the season. Week 2, you take advantage of that. Later on in the season, you may not be able to take advantage of something like that.
Yeah, take advantage of those communication breakdowns and stuff that, like you said, that's the stuff that you're going to pick up later on in the season. Whenever you're handing somebody off in a zone, the guy's not going to have, 5-yard open area that he found just because there was a miscommunication.
Absolutely. I do feel that Jacksonville has a ton of talent on this team. A ton. It's just very young and inexperienced, right? If Trevor Lawrence ever gets his shit together, this is going to be a scary team in the division, okay? That's how I feel about it. And I don't do that very often, but I'm just saying. Hold on one moment. We just had a donation, and I want to share that out real quick. Bam, there we go. What's up? Goki Colts fan donates $5 through the donation chat. Says, Chuck, you should talk about dropping 30 pieces on team, man. We are the Dogaman Colts. I am not understanding what he's saying here, bud, but you if you do, you could pipe in. Not going to be afraid of humans from Texans. We are a team that has to have ambitions to win now and in the next 5 years. Salute. Well, I will say that we do need to have ambitions to win now, and we can't be afraid of the Houston Texans. That's absolute. I'm confused on what he's saying to you at the beginning.
I'm thinking maybe he thought I was saying we wouldn't beat him. I don't know. It's not what I was saying, if that's what he thinks. I think week 1, week 2, we're going to go 2-0. So
awesome. All right. So I do believe that we win the first 2 weeks. I think we get that monkey off of our back. And by the way, Ninkowski, thank you for the donation. Appreciate it very, very much. Yes, we talked about the Texans, DJ, and you say that Davis Mills is underrated. Well, the fact that he wasn't even on the Madden top 32 quarterbacks, I guess he is a little bit. But yes, we should win that because of the youth on that team. Oh, okay. Brandon saying he thinks that Goki meant daggum like the way Uncle Phil used to say.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Gotcha. Understand.
I'm sorry. I seen 2 G's and all of a sudden I was thinking Jacksonville. The Jags with 2 G's.
No, I think we win these first 2 games, these first 2 weeks, in all honesty. Like I said, a lot of youth and inexperience that I think the Colts could take advantage of in the secondary or in the linebacking core of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mm-hmm. And honestly, we've got running backs and we've got some very talented tight ends, I think, that can take advantage of that, and receivers that can get things across the middle, right? I think Alec Pierce and hopefully Paris Campbell at least makes it through week 2, could really come up with a lot of stuff on that. Gotcha, Ninkowski. But yes, definitely, I think we start off 2-0, and you seem to have the same opinion on that.
Not only do I think we start 2-0, I'll be honest with you. I think that week 2 game, there's going to be some exorcisms taking place. There's going to be some demons that are going to be addressed and stuff, because I have to believe this whole offseason has got to be one of the more frustrating off seasons, especially for the leaders. For the DeForest Buckners and the Darius Leonards and the Quentin Nelsons and stuff, because they've had to hear about week 17 and week 18 and how we lost to the lowly Jags and stuff. And like I said, that's not to mention all that they're going to hear about. Oh, you haven't won since 2016 in Jacksonville and all that other stuff. I really feel like that this team is going to be really connected. I mean, I don't know if you guys heard, I watched the interview where Matt Ryan's walking through the hall and quizzing people and stuff. And I'm like, I loved hearing that. I was like, yeah, man, we're already in competitive game mode thinking and stuff. And this is the voluntary part. So that's exactly what I wanted to hear, because like I said, that to me seems like it's going to give you that initial week 1, week 2 hot start that we've been missing for quite a while.
Yeah, and let's be honest with it. If we lose in Jacksonville week 2, we'll be the laughing stock of the NFL. Okay, because we would have. I mean, Jacksonville's not expected to do much, and we lose in Jacksonville every year. We have to exercise that demon or else. And I don't like putting the pressure on players and the team. I don't want to sit here and see, social media blow up on you have to win. They know they have to win, right?
Yeah.
But you don't need them thinking, well, I don't want to let my fans down. I want them to be fresh, open-minded, go out there, play the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's that one game at a time mentality, and I get that. But from at least from a fan perspective, what I mean, the reason I think this week 1, week 2 are so massive is because now we lead into week 3 and 4, and you look at those teams that we have to be. You don't want to go in. I mean, honestly, I don't want to go in 1-1. I mean, it's 2-0 is exactly what I expect of this team, and honestly, it's what I think that they should expect and will expect of themselves. Because I mean, now week 3, you're looking at. Granted, it's your first home game, but now you're against the always AFC, elite Kansas City Chiefs, and it's like, okay, that game you don't want to go in 1-1 or 0-2, God forbid. I mean, 2-0 is really exactly where I'd want to be there.
So I'm just going to say this, and I put it right there just to let you guys know. Screenshot it. I don't care. I have been saying this all off season. The Indianapolis Colts are going to smack the dog snot out of Kansas City week 3. Okay. Everybody's like, oh no, KC's so good. Indianapolis is built to beat teams like Kansas City. Okay. Last time we played Kansas City, we beat them with, I'm going to say a quarterback we had no business beating them with, right? Jacoby Brissett.
Yes.
We beat him. Marlon Mack and the defense beat that team. Okay.
Yes.
We have a much better team than we had a couple years ago or 3 years ago with the team that beat Kansas City. I think we could do a much better situation. Kansas City is an important game. I get that. A lot of people here, say that as well. I get it. I understand, but that's not the team. That's not the game that has me the biggest worry. I honestly feel like the Kansas City game is more in the bag than the Jacksonville Jaguars game. I really do. I feel like the Kansas City game will be easier for the Colts to win than the Jacksonville game. That's messed up. Okay. That's messed up because our defense is built to handle quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, stuff like that, Deshaun Watson. We're built to play quarterbacks like that. Okay. And we've proven it over and over and over the last few years. We've never been blown out by these guys. Right. Deshaun Watson's been, our little brother, the entire time he's been here, minus 1 year. The 2 Buffalo games, the last 2 years, both of them, the first one was very close. The second one wasn't even near close. We smacked the dog snout out of them. The Baltimore game against the last 2 times we played the Ravens, right? Scrambling quarterback and Lamar Jackson. Both games come down to the wire or overtime. Actually, both of them went to overtime.
Yeah. And both of them we hadn't crushed going into the fourth quarter, and just
Yeah, Kansas City is not going to be able to handle our. The thing about Kansas City is they're a quick strike offense. Okay, if they can't quick strike, they get out of rhythm. Our defense eliminates quick strikes. That's just how our defense is built, and our offense is built to keep those quick strike offenses off the field so that they don't have that rhythm. Okay. Now, that's not to say that, the game plan might be, run, pass, but it ends up being run touchdown. You know, with Jonathan Taylor, we all know that can happen.
Yeah.
But I'll still take the score, right? Yeah, this is the game. I just feel like I feel like the Colts will manhandle Kansas City.
Well,
It's a home game too, so I want you guys to know that. If this was in Kansas City, I might be saying something completely different because the atmosphere in Kansas City is very difficult to play in. Shout out to the Kansas City fans in that stadium. It is a very loud, boisterous place. I just feel like at home at Lucas Oil with the fans on our side, I feel like the Colts will have no problem with Kansas City.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you. I'm not. There's not anybody on our schedule week 1 through week 18 that I look at and go, oh, we can't. This team's going to be hard to beat. There's certain situations and things that make certain games tougher, like you said. But the big thing for me is, yes, it's a home game. It's our season opener. Good gravy. Can you imagine what this town will be like in week 3 when we just sit there and handle week 1 and week 2, like we said, get all those unlucky things that have been happening over the last, 6-8 years, whatever, get all those monkeys off our back, then come in and meet Kansas City. And the thing is, that's exactly what I was getting ready to go to is, we don't know exactly how quick strike they will because we don't, Tyreek Hill, okay. I don't like the deal made to Miami and stuff, but that's not because I don't think he's a talented player. That's not that he doesn't give that offense a dynamic piece that you have to game plan for and stuff. And it's how quickly do they replace that? I understand that they had a lot of draft pieces this year and made a lot of scuttlebutt during the free agency with
that's why I was getting ready to go with their roster here in just a second.
Yeah. So like I said, there are those things, but I'm not going to put them. I'm more confident in beating Jacksonville than I am Kansas City, me personally. But like I said, I feel like this game here should be 3-0. This game here, because like you said, this pumped up, got those monkeys off their back. First home game, the fan base is going to be electric. And then you sit there and you add all that together with, like I said, a defense that, to be honest with you, Patrick Mahomes has experienced pressure, but not like what this defense is going to provide against him this year. And then you've got these veteran, Stephon Gilmore, and then you got Kenny Moore. You talk about how we handled them with Marlon Mack. Well, the thing was that was also with a much younger Darius Leonard, Braden Smith, Quentin Nelson. This team now is 3 years more developed and ready to go. I do feel like that this, like I said, I don't even think Kansas City is going to be the leader in their division. So I think that this is going to be one of those games where they start realizing, oh, okay, this isn't a guaranteed AFC championship game this year.
So they did try to adjust by losing some of the wide receivers that they had from last year, this offseason. They went out and got Marquez Valdez-Scantling. They did go out and get Juju Smith-Schuster. They went out and drafted what many Colts fans wanted. Remember Sky Moore for that, quick strike situation. They were very active this year. Defensively, they went out and used a lot of their draft picks, going and getting Trent McDuffie, George Karlaftis, Leo Chanel, and Brian Cook, right? They went and got some of these guys. Josh Williams, which is a cornerback. They went and got Brian Cook because there's a certain honey badger that ain't on their team no more, right? So again, a very young defense and an offense which might take time to get in sync because there's a lot of receivers that Patrick Mahomes has never thrown a football to, okay, during a game, right? At least 3 of them. So, I feel like, yes, we have our issues too, right? Matt Ryan, brand new guy. We got a new wide receiver. We got new tight ends. But again, this is going to be at home. The stadium will be quiet when Matt's back there behind center. And I don't think it's going to be very quiet when Mahomes is behind center. So I think that plays very heavily in our favor.
Yeah, I agree completely. I see that.
30 minutes in. Hey, I'm sorry, guys. I've been incredibly freaking happy about talking about this. All right. Sue me. All right. Don't sue me. Donate. Don't sue. Donate. Okay. All right. Yes, I suppose I could drop a sponsor or something in here. You know what? Backroom Collection. I'm gonna drop them as the first. I rarely do that. We're half an hour in. I'm gonna go ahead, guys. Go check out the Backroom Collection. Link is in the description. A lot of great stuff you can go check out. Yes, I will show the Forrest Buckner. Blam. This is just the specialty made one that was made for me. You can get one of your own, or some of the other beautiful pieces like the Jonathan Taylor that they just made this past week. Go check them out. This channel is proudly sponsored by the Backroom Collection. They do beautiful sports canvas art with football, basketball, baseball, and other sports themes. Special orders are accepted and autograph pieces are available. Many Indianapolis Colts signed pieces will be available beginning in November. Just use your discount code CL10 to purchase the pieces you want to spice up your living area. That's CL10. This video is sponsored by Newsbreak. Newsbreak is an app used over 1.5 billion times a month by people just like you to get local news via articles or videos by those who are focused on that specific area. People like myself. Just use the link in the description of this video to download it. Then search a city, state, or someone specific, like myself, Colts Law. Then make sure to follow them so you'll get all the news fresh as it comes out. Let's jump right back into this. I didn't realize that 11 minutes ago we had another donation. Brian Walton with a $10 drop. Thank you, Brian. You were awesome, dude. You're always in here, but you're always dropping when we're not live. So it's very rarely I get to do this while you're live. So thank you so much. He says, what role do you see JoJo Domann and Sterling Weatherford playing? That's interesting. You bring some of these guys up who, the reason why he's bringing these guys up, they've made plays today in OTAs. I don't know, Chuck, did you see some of the stuff coming out today in OTAs?
Yeah, I just, thanks to the local reporters, Kevin Bowen and them. Yeah, I seen a little bit about it and stuff, but no, I haven't got to hear a whole lot about. I think I saw somebody picked off Matt Ryan one time, but outside of that, I hadn't seen.
That was legitimately Weatherford picked him off. I think it was a pick six. I don't know. Was it Matt or was it Foles that he picked off? I think it was Foles he picked off.
Okay. Like I said, I seen mine today. We can just get on Twitter, share a little bit, and then go back to what I had to take care of.
Absolutely. Now, these are guys fighting for, roster spots. Okay. Mm-hmm. Definitely don't have a roster spot already set for them. We're very deep in their positions, except for cornerback. Cornerback, there might be one position at cornerback that's available, right? So you're fighting for these positions. That's what these guys are doing. Let me go in here and look up another.
Yeah, and the thing is, this is the new wave of, hopefully the Zaire Franklins and stuff. A lot of these guys, I think, will be very active in the special teams. I mean, they're going to get very familiar with Bubba and what he wants from them and stuff. And that's going to be their easiest way to get game snaps. Yeah.
JoJo Domann is kind of very interesting in my opinion. He kind of he's more athletic than the person I'm going to bring up, which is a benefit because he didn't last long with the Indy and he was a draft pick out of Florida. Yeah. You remember him?
Yes.
A draft pick out of Florida that wasn't very athletic, but he fought like a dog, right? He was a beast. Very, very good tackler, could get through blocks, things of that nature, but he wasn't very athletic, wasn't very fast. That's why he didn't last with the Colts very long. Doman is a more athletic version of him. Okay. So, and I can't remember his name off the top.
Sean Davis?
No, the linebacker from back in the Luck days.
Okay.
Someone might remember in the comment section if you can remember. I can't remember his name, but he was a linebacker. I'm pretty sure he was out of Florida. Just wasn't very athletic. Doman's a little bit more athletic than him. No, not Bourne Werner.
He was an end.
Colts draft Florida linebacker. Antonio Morrison.
Okay.
You remember Antonio Morrison?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't who I was thinking of when I thought I figured out. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, I had his face in my head. I just couldn't remember his name because he only lasted a couple years, and he was like a pit bull out there. And I feel the same way about JoJo. He's got a chance, especially in special teams. Okay.
Yes.
I think especially in special teams, I think JoJo's got a real chance to make the team.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys that I think with a couple years in the organization, I think he could be, a valuable number 3 piece, at the linebacker position.
Absolutely, because let's face it, we don't have a lot of good backups at linebacker. Okay, I mean we've got Bobby O, we got Darius L, and Zaire Franklin. And Zaire, he's a low end starter. As a starter, special teamer, he's a freaking off the charts player. Okay, that's well, let's not get that confused at all. But and then after that, you're like,
I'm pretty excited to see what EJ Speed does in this new. Does he find a place? You know what I mean? I know it's late in this. It's not like we just drafted him this year or anything. I know,
but that's what I'm saying. EJ's been around a little bit. And we've heard all this. Well, he's got upside and he's got athleticism and he's quick and he's this and he's that, but he hasn't taken the Sam linebacker position yet over Franklin. Right. And I feel like if he was everything the Colts saying he was, he would have taken that by now,
So that Quincy Wilson thing, you see all the physical gifts and everything, but you're just like, the Colts just haven't found a way to make him fit into what they do. And that's why, like I said, I didn't know if maybe we hopefully get to see something from this new Bradley system that might help us with that.
Oh, yeah, I'm expecting at least 15 sacks from Ben Banagoo this year.
Oh, my. That is a new sandwich or something they're making called the sack, right? I know he's really good at cooking. That's why I said it.
Absolutely. All right, so I got the Colts going 3-0, starting off the season. Let's talk about on fire, guys. Starting off the season 3-0. What? Yeah, that's how I feel about this. All right, but after that, now we get into a little bit of aggressiveness, okay? A little aggressiveness, in my opinion. The Tennessee Titans. All right, ain't nobody got any love for the Tennessee Titans. Now, I'm going to say, as an organization, I don't have beef with the organization, other than the fact they're divisional rivals. I have a problem with some of their fans. But as an organization, I have a ton of respect for Mike Vrabel. I think Vrabel is freaking awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
As a coach, as a person, I love what he'll go out there and beat the bag until it dies on the floor in front of him. All right. We've seen videos of it. Okay. I love this dude. All right. He's a good coach. And I mean, look, it's hard to like someone who runs it down your throat all the time, but Derrick Henry's still Derrick Henry, right? He's still a hell of a linebacker or hell of a running back linebacker. And I love their defensive tackle. Jeff Simmons is a beast. Wish he was, our nose tackle. Could you imagine him and DeForest Buckner side by side with Gakwe and Pay on the edges?
Yes, I could, because we were so close to having that happen in that draft. I was just like, So yeah,
I know.
I can't imagine it.
Oh my goodness, that would be nasty. Holy crap. The Titans is a statement game. I agree. I agree. This is going to be a very important game. Another home game. We had to start off the season 2 on the road and then 2 at home. Now, I got to get that off of there because we're not in this. I got to change that up. So we're going to create and.
Yeah, I do agree with you though. That Titans game, for me, okay, it goes. Urgency is, for me, it's Jacksonville, then the Texans, then the Titans. That Kansas City game is, I really want that win. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to give any energy to that fan base, because you talk about the Titans and their fan base being a little rough. Man, them Chiefs can get to be obnoxious sometimes.
We were swept by the Titans last year.
Yes, we were.
Okay, we were swept by the Titans last year. I feel like this year the Colts will split with them. Okay, and when you're talking about splitting with a divisional rival, usually you give the home game. Each team wins a home game, and unless you're like Jacksonville, then obviously the home game always wins in Jacksonville. Some stupid except this upcoming season. We've already discussed that. But Houston, there for a while it was opposite with Houston, where we would win there and they would win at our house, right? So it was
that was because TY did magic.
Yeah, because TY was like, oh look, I'm home. Wouldn't that be scary if T.Y. Hilton ended up, Marlon Mack goes over to the Texans, then T.Y. goes over there too, because T.Y.'s like, screw it, I want 200 yards a game every game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I can't even believe you put that out there.
I don't like that. I don't like it either, but I mean, I could understand T.Y.'s thinking in that, I could understand T.Y.'s thinking in that.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to get Hall of Fame if I play
in 1 year. I would root for him just because of that. I would, except for when they're playing against the Colts.
Yeah,
but
for 2 weeks out of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. But
and this Titans game, the thing is like you said, it sets the tone, because here again, now you got your first quarter of your season in the books. You win this home game, which, like you said, it's going to be easier to win at home than it would be on the road. But then you sit there, and I know we're only talking about the first 4, but just foreshadowing, you got a quick turnaround in Denver on the Thursday night that following week, and then you've got the Titans again on week 7, and it's really hard to beat a team twice that close together, week 4, week 7, I think it is,
Mm-hmm.
So there again, that's another, that's why I feel like this first 4 games, especially the first 2, are as close to must win as you could get in a week 1, because of those factors, because of, like you said, make that statement, roll in hot. I mean, and how the Colts have done it throughout, once they get rolling, man, we are just, we keep the thing rolling for a good long time, and I don't think that we'll have that week 17, 18 disappointment, because you think about it, it came to a screeching halt last year out of the blue, just,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think that this team will do that this year.
Look, like I said, this stream is about the first 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Colts go 4-0 the first 4 games. Now, it sounds like I'm being Homer, but wait until we get to the next 4 games, and then you'll be like, oh. Because we start getting into some of the games where I'm like, I don't know if we're going to win anymore. Well, we'll win more, but
wait a minute.
Ever
I'm not gonna
again,
be here
we're
for that
done.
show. I'm out of that show.
Like we're not going to continue with the win streak. You know what I mean? No, I feel like this is a situation where if there was a year the Colts could go 4-0, this is that year. Start off 4. We started off 0-3, 0-3, 1-5, 2-5. We ain't doing that this year. I feel like this is a chance where Indy could start off 4-0. But again, we're not getting to those upcoming, but we're not going 17-0, guys. I'm going to tell you that right now. We're not going 15-2. All right. We're not doing that either. All right. But I feel like the Colts do have a strong team. I think they'll be stronger as the season goes on too. But there are some teams out there that are matchup nightmares for Indy that they have to play. And that's going to be a problem. That happens on later on. I just feel like the Colts are built to beat Kansas City. And that's why they will win, because it's at home against Kansas City. The Titans is a situation. It's also at home. I think that we're very close to each other. I think the Colts have an edge when it comes to, talent and experience overall. But, the home advantage helps out a lot. And I think that's why they win at home in that situation. And then, of course, we already discussed the Texans and the Jaguars. That's why I'm saying, dude, 4-0 in this, I don't think is completely out of the question at all.
Yeah, I mean, you guys remember we started late because I dumped everything. But this was the message that I was typing in there. I'm like, 3-1 all day. I think 3-1, if you're not 3-1, you should be, disappointed. But I do think that 4-0 is a very legitimate, expectation, and we've talked about it. This is a very AFC front-loaded schedule. So we start 4-0. I mean, and like I said, you get into the later part, what is it, week 7 or week 8, and we're we know where we're going to be standing in the AFC as long as we just continue to take care of business for that second half of the schedule. You know what I mean? So it's, I honestly believe that this is definitely, this has to be the mindset. I mean, it's got to be.
Have a good one, Truett. Appreciate you joining in, coming in, and giving your thoughts. Thank you so much. Anthony says, if we could put up 35 to 40 points a game like we've done in the past, we're in business. Dude, 40 points a game? Are you kidding me? That's like NFL record shit. Okay. I'm just saying. All right. I don't see us doing that. We went that stretch. What was it? An 8-game stretch where we were averaging 31 points a game last year. And we were in a winning process. We were the highest scoring team in the NFL for like 8 straight weeks, I believe.
Well, I definitely expect to see those type of points at least week 1 and week 2. Like I said, leave no questions, leave nothing, no stone unturned. Week 1, week 2 have to be decisive wins to sit there and have all the hype and stuff, and I don't think the thing is, the Colts have to do spectacular things to even garnish the attention of the national media and stuff. And I don't care about that. I'm to the point where I'm like, okay, sleep on us all day. But I would argue that you start beating Kansas City and Tennessee that way, then all of a sudden, what's the Colts got going on over there? And I, like I said, I feel like this roster has the opportunity to really set the own narrative, because like I said, we've got leadership in all the right places. We've got youth in all the right places. I mean, and even the youth, I mean, good gravy. Where everybody's sitting there talking about JT like he's an old man. He's 23 years old, years young still. It's like, man, I sit there and I look at the way this team is put together, and I look at this roster, and like I said, that if we sit there and take out Kansas City, I still put that Titans game very, very vitally important. But man, 4-0, I really do believe could happen for sure.
What's up, Mick? He says national media don't matter. All that matters is the NFL. Just win. Win your games. Absolutely. I hear you, man. That's how you got to do. You got to take it one game at a time. Don't worry about the outside. I know Darius Leonard goes out there and looks for negativity to try to build him up, but other guys don't do that. A lot of people just like out there trying to just do them. And I fully appreciate that. King Cracker, what's up? Says I got to rewind this video. Yeah, I understand, my guy. It's all good. At least you made it. All right. Anthony Hurt says Eberflus defense kept opposing teams' drives longer than they should have kept our offense off the field for way too long. His defense was meant to frustrate other offenses.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Colts fans.
Well, it frustrated Colts fans, but it definitely was meant to frustrate other offenses, and it did that. I mean, there's a reason why Darius and the Colts had 30-some turnovers last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's because they frustrated. They made them take snap after snap after snap after snap. They weren't giving up 1, 2, 3 play touchdown drives, on a general basis. Eberflus was very good about that. He just went into that way, way, way too early in some games. I get it. I understand. I was frustrated with it a few times as well. All right. I think I could take that off there now. There's no reason for that to be there anymore. Blam. All right. Yay. This year, by the way, guys, my father will be coming and getting me here in about 15, 20 minutes to go grocery shopping because my truck is broke down. You guys, I don't know if you know. So we already had to, I have no groceries and I have to go to the store. So he said, hey, I'll be done babysitting, so I'll come and get you. So I can't stay over the hour, but
that's good because I don't know if the weather's like it is here, but it just opened up out here. You don't want to be walking in that mess.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh my. I haven't looked at the weather here yet.
Yeah, I had my windows up. I kept checking. I'm like, no, we're not flooded yet. No more than I was with the drinks, that is.
All right. Mick says we don't play this year. If you don't know, Browns fan. So I am officially rooting for the Colts second. I'm a diehard Browns fan. Well, he told you. I knew he was a Browns fan because he's been a subber and of ours for a while and has been in here, and I appreciate his comments and his outside information very much like Joe. Joe is a Steelers fan, and he also is part of our Patreon, which you can be part of the Patreon as well. $5 a month. All it takes. $5 a month. You get to join the show. I know. Every Thursday we have a Patreon only show where patrons can watch or join the show and sit and chat. We chat for, I think, 2-3 hours every. I'll get rid of it. Okay.
I'm sorry. I love Joe. He has a specific skill set for putting things into perspective.
The episode that I just posted yesterday, I believe in Colts with Gerard Powers, has an extra 18 minutes on it, that only Patreon members get to watch. So just let you know. Oh, I didn't know you live. All right. So you, okay. I used to live in Fort Wayne. Nomadic Brian says hi. I think if he threw a couple extra meows in there, it would have been, hi, Joe, how are you doing? Deep Patel asks if that's the real background. No, it is not. Well, it is a real background. I will say that, but it's not my real background, okay? I'll give the same story I always give. 6 years ago, I had my house burned down, lost everything. And it was when I was just starting getting into podcasting and stuff. And a guy who is a follower of mine said, hey, I've got a Colts cave room thing. I can send you some HDs and use for it as a background. I said, that's freaking awesome. Thank you so much. So shout out to him. I've never hidden that fact. Anytime anyone asks, I always let you guys know, hey, this is not mine. I wish it was because that's freaking awesome. But I used to have a bunch of Colts memorabilia. I still have a little. I've been slowly building up my Colts memorabilia. I just don't have nearly as much as I did before my house burnt down. But well, You see anything in the chat or anything you want to talk about?
Just real quick, guys. I know we already did the ad for him, but check out, Backroom Collection. They've got an amazing Jonathan Taylor. And you guys know Father's Day, so you got to be able to drop the hints in the right places. Hit the link from the description and check it out. That piece of work alone is worth checking their site out.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's freaking gorgeous. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys. Don't forget, if you haven't already, please hit the like button and share it with your favorite social media, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. I appreciate it very, very much. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. That's Colts Loyalist. And as usual, have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.
4-0, baby. 4-0. That's right. That's why the Colts are starting out. Woo!